man has been buying things again off of eBay. Look what I have purchased. Now, I've had one of these before, which is currently on Facebook Marketplace, Yaft, which was my old truck. She was a bit rusty, but she was a right-hand drive one. This one is a bit rusty, and it's a left-hand drive one. So this is a Peugeot 404 diesel pickup truck, because a man needed that. It has some issues. A man I got it off of earlier on, well, Simon picked it up for me, has had it for 26 years. And by the sound of the story, a few years ago he bought, the engine was dying, so he bought one from Holland. It was supposed to be good, had it put in, whoever did it could never get it to go. Went to a couple of places, couldn't get it to go, thought the engine was knackered, sold it on eBay, start bid of 1,500 quid. I sort of thought it's going to make loads more than that. One bid, 1,500 quid. Man owns a 1977 Peugeot 404 pickup truck. So at current, it has no compression and it doesn't seem to do anything injection fuel wise. So me and Simon are going to have a faff around with it now, because I reckon I know what's wrong with it. Having had my previous one of these that had sat for 20 years, we had a beggar of a job getting it to start the first time for no compression, wouldn't inject any diesel, had to tap on the fuel pump, do all that sort of stuff. Because basically the rings stick after being sat for years, which is what I reckon happened to this. So it is sort of coming around at current. So I think, bit of faffing, this will go. Sorry man off eBay that sold me to it really quite cheap because it was broken, but I don't think it is. After figuring out the electricals, I've had to replumb the cooling system because that wasn't attached. The radiator leaks, but it's got some coolants in it. After setting fire to the inlet manifold with a gas torch, winging it over on 24 volts, which got it some compression, we've got the injector pump to bleed up and start injecting fuel. I think, and I've also figured out how the wiring works in the cab, this thing is getting pretty close to busting off. And if it doesn't do that, I'm going to have to tow it round the village tomorrow with Fudgy to get it to crack off, because once they run, warm up, rings pop out, compression starts every time. So I'm going to go and give it a go, and if it cracks off, I'll be amazed. I'm going to open the door a bit, because the pollution might be quite bad. Come on, Peugeot. So, hold that this way, press this button upwards. That should bring the heaty plugs on. We have a throttle pedal now, which we didn't have before. Give it loads of heat. Right, more of the heat. Getting pretty close. Right, let the starter motor cool down a bit. I better return the throttle pedal because that doesn't seem to return. I reckon if I can get it to fire on the 4 cylinders, we'll be away. Tiny bit of throttle. Throttle pedal is seized, obviously. Would be if I owned it, wouldn't it? More of the heat. Would appear that we are running out of the battery powers again. I don't know how much. I'll try the top donor, but I think this might be a tow it around the village. We like towing things around the village, and they love us doing that. As we remember from the days of the CF, that really cheered all the locals up. That did. Right, let's try it again. Right, hold switch, push switch, upwards, heating. Lots of heating. going to be let down by the batteries again. Right, more amperages. Might have to go and find something that's a runner in a minute to plug into it from outside. Give it lots of amperages. 4th time lucky, or 50th time lucky if we were being honest. So button up. Lots and lots and lots of the heats. Right, I think we're getting quite close. Just slightly lacking in enough amps. Gonna have to go and find something out here that runs that I can plug into it to give it more of the amps, like a Sprinter van. Oop. Right, so what I have done is I have connected it to the freeloader, which was the first thing I found in the yard, no special stuff, which is running out the other side of that door with a set of leads going over to it. So basically that'll give me quite a lot of the amperages because the Freelander is squeaking its head off, so it appears to be charging. By the way, if anyone asks, I have sold the Freelander to a subscriber for 400 quid. They're chuffed as nuts and I'm taking it away. Marvellous. So anyway, we'll keep cranking on it, otherwise we're giving up for tonight. Me and Fudge are going to tow it around the village in the morning because I've done some quite revolutionary stuff. I've made the clutch work, that was not functioning. Obviously we've made the fuel system function and we figured out how the electrics work. I think I said that earlier. So, and we appear to have the brakes. Oop. So you have to turn this key and then there's a button down here. So we go this way, you get a satisfying clonk as the heat plugs come in. And then you have to stay hanging on this key and then press this 1970s toggle switch in the opposite direction. Like that. Come on, pick up. She saw her trying on like 2. More heats. More heats. I think we're lacking in the compressionals. More heats. Poor starter motor. Come on, starter motor, hang in there. Right, let's let the poor starter cool off a minute. Could give it some sniff, but I don't think it doesn't seem to make any difference. It's producing lots of smoke though. Sniffage, bit of sniff. It's an old indirect injection 2.1, I think they were, even though it says 1800 on the logbook. They might be 1800, but I always thought they were 2.1. Heat plugs functioning. Come on, pug. Oh, I reckon we're getting there. Come on. Right, let's start motor rest a minute again. More sniff. Definitely have got lots of the fuels, haven't we? Yes, we have. Let's see if that clears some stuff up for me. Right. Come on, Peugeot. Whole thing. Heat plugs. Can hear the Freelander dip. It's obviously drawing some current. And here we go. Poor starter motor. Let's go and tap on top of the injectors a bit. It's amazing what happens when you hit the top of injector with a hammer. To see if we're getting the necessary fuels. I'm not 100% sure that 2 of my injectors are bled up. So that one there. What about you? I don't know about you, do we? Not having anything to that. What about you out of there? You more out of there, aren't you? Right, going to do some turning over and attempted bleedage now. I'm not sure we're getting fuel out everywhere we should be getting fuel out of. Have we got fuel out of the front injectors? Yes. Right. Lots of fuel. That's good. Right, 15th time lucky. Dipping of a Freelander. Come on, Peugeot. You know you want to live. Right, there goes nothing. Come on, old girl. I think we need to do the 2 rear injectors again. We might stand a chance then. Poor starter motor. I know you're a bit cookhead. It'll be alright. Right, more bleeding. Bleeding. Starter motor, sorry, injector pump bleeding, not owl bleeding. I reckon that's definitely me 2 cylinders that work. Right, and again. Come on, Peugeot. Right, button up, heating, Freelander slowing down. Lots of heating. Hit it. Come on, you're almost there. More heating. Definitely me 2 front cylinders, I reckon. Don't think we're bleeding up properly. Can't understand why we wouldn't be bleeding up properly. Come on. Play ball. Definitely got lots of smoke. Try a bit more sniffage. I suppose it can't really hurt it, can it? Sniffage. Right, button up for heat. Clutch pedal's gone again. Hurts your fingers after a while. Bit more throttle, bit more heat. Making sense. So close, but yet so far. It's definitely off. Throttle off. Need then is a bit more throttle. I've got throttles. Right, let's try more throttles. Poor starter motor. Annoying. Poor starter motor. Must be absolutely roasty, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yes, that's very odd. Right, I think if this doesn't work, we'll leave it for the night before Al completely kills the starter motor. Poor starter motor. Hard evening if you're a starter motor. cool the starter motor down a bit because it's going to catch fire in a minute. Poor starter motor. Poor starter motor. This is getting a bit cruel. I've got my clutch pedal. Oh, my clutch pedal's back again, isn't it? Right. So, one last go. Otherwise it's towy time tomorrow. Fucking hell, poor starter motor. Well, I cannot believe a starter motor survived that, the poor thing. It's running, doesn't sound the best. Better go and get some water. Right, well, via the fact that it's breathing like a steam train. It's a bit knocky, but I think it's diesel rather than horrible mechanicals. It's coming around. I mean, it's better than it was 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago it sounded really bad. Ow! Bite me! Don't know about that. By the amount of gas coming out the crankcase and the noises, I don't think it's terribly healthy. But we might as well see if it moves. Possibly moves. Because it does sound like a helicopter. We're just ignoring that for a minute. Do we have ability to drive? Oh, we may very well have. We do. Might have an end hanging out of it, but it drives. Right, Fudgy, so I may have bought another pile of rusty French poo.
What exactly is this one, Al?
This is a Peugeot 404 pickup truck. I had one before, but I got a bit skint. Mine was right-hand drive, was even rarer. Got a bit skint a few years ago, I had to sell it. It was a bit of a state. It was probably not. It was worse than this one.
Okay.
In different areas. So the one we had last time was a blue one. I'll chuck a photograph in of it now. It hadn't run 25 years when I got it. Same engine as this, which I think this is 2.1, possibly 2. I think it's 2.1. It's listed as 1800 on the logbook, but I don't remember them doing an 1800 diesel, but I could be wrong. So, and been in the barn 25 years unstarted. So we had quite a lot of fun because it had a bit like this. You won't have seen the video footage of me getting this going last night. That poor starter motor, she is a Trojan. I mean, you could have cooked eggs on that at one point. I burned my thumb on it at one point. I had to keep pouring water over it to cool it down, and it's still functioning. So I finally, this has been, I think, 2017. As far as I understand from the bloke that owned it, the engine died, and he bought a good engine from Holland, and it's good on because someone's washed it to death, but the inside's all full of black nastiness, and it wouldn't go. So it hadn't gone in years. No one could get it going. He'd sent it a load of places till it came here. So me and Simon tried the 12 volts in the beginning. It done half whop over. Then we tried the 24 volts, get some sniff. It wasn't having it. I kept at it. I started at 6 o'clock last night. I went home at midnight when it finally started.
That's perseverance, right?
Oh, that was, but I was to a point where at one point I was going to give up because the clutch didn't function because all the fluid fell out of it.
Oh, it's hydraulic clutch, is it?
Yeah. That's obviously it leaks because they didn't have the fluid in it. But we got a clutch pedal back, it's a bit seized. Okay. We have a brake pedal. Yeah. We have electrics. We finally figured out, I couldn't figure out how to get it because my one, you used to turn the key, hold it, and then the heat plugs would come on, boff, and she'd go. My one, same age as this, had a pump with an electric shut-off solenoid on it. So I'm assuming that this has had some type of conversion because this appears to have a pull stop on it. Yes, it's in the dashboard. It's like a wavy lever. All the cables were disconnected. All the heater hoses were off. It had obviously never been. So we did stick at it. Now, what I will go and do is demonstrate the fact that basically by beating it into life like I had to do with the, because I've got a bit of footage we'll also chuck in of us getting the engine in the blue one running. And I mean, the blue one's radiator was so bad we had to poke a hose pipe in the top of it once me and Thieving Kenny dragged it round the village about 15 times till it finally fired to gain some compression. And then dragged it. I drove it back here because once Kenny had unhooked it, it was like, get out of my way, I'm going. And then it had a bit of coolant in it, but it leaked like else. We put a hose in the top, in the header tank and just left it running for 4 hours on 1984 diesel because it had 3/4 of a tank of cherry because it was farm spec one. And it came around. And then give it from that day, it sat around here for 2 years as we did the stuff to it until I sold it. And you could heat it, boff.
Crack straight off.
So if you think this one last night would not start at all, I shall just go and demonstrate by waving these amount of levers and bits and wobbly stuff that a man has to wobble to make it go. But you will notice when I fire it up, as you did earlier on when it nearly gassed you to death, that we have some issues. They definitely described as issues. Let's just roll her back a bit. You know, I got out that hole, but I don't think I can get back in it. Oh, I'll demonstrate that in a minute once I've answered the phone. Right, second time lucky on the not having to answer the phone halfway through a video. Let me go and crack the beast off. Yeah, well, I don't quite know. Well, we had both of those bolted together last night, but there is a gearbox engine to gearbox to vehicle earth, and it works perfectly, so I think that was just an extra. We might change the plug on the end of it, bolt it on here, but I'll demonstrate the starting now, and then you'll be able to see the problem fairly quickly.
Okay.
Well, you might be able to hear it as well. All right, now what I have to do is turn this key on like you normally turn the key on, and I've got this button here, so that you press the button one way like this switch.
Yeah.
That does the heatings, and then you go back this way, and then it does the heatings and the startings. Now, you may not have noticed yet that we may have what could be described as a bit of the old crankcase pressures going on over there. That'll be that smoke wafting out of the engine breather down the far side there. And then the main one is that if I lean in here and lift this, I don't know whether that's a big end or an injector. It's definitely running on 4. I've tried that last night.
Yeah.
But it is going gack, 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 gack. And if you go and drive it anywhere, it definitely goes gack, 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 gack. And obviously, we're breathing a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we do have to like sorts of moisture and nastiness in the oils.
I think that might be a bit, yeah.
So what I was considering, before we all die of smoke inhalation, monoxides, poisonings or whatever it is, was attempting, because it may possibly, I mean you may not be able to believe this for an L purchase, be a bit rusty. There are some, looks very nice from the outside, but I stood up on the driver's floor earlier on and that went crunch. So we're assuming that we may need to attend. But on the upside, I have taxed it.
There you go.
Free. It said, your vehicle is MOT exempt, and I was like, yes it is. And then, would you like, yes, I'll have a 3 years tax. You crack on, thank you very much. It's the only thing the DVLA's ever given me apart from a prosecution.
You have a fully legal vehicle.
This is technically, well, the rules state that it has to be roadworthy. So at current, apart from the emissions problems and the slight crispiness, the brakes, the lights, all of that stuff, apart from a couple of indicator bulbs, and you can't turn the wipers off, but I think I've found the broken switch for that.
Okay.
So, yeah, so at the moment, if you plug the wipers in, they just go continuously. But they do wipe a windscreen, so that's an upside.
Or half a windscreen, judging by the size of those windscreen wiper blades.
Yeah, but you don't see, you're just being greedy. You only need to see through that bit. What is wrong with that? That is right in a man's line of sight. That windscreen wiper blade over there might be a bit poop. So what I was thinking could do, before I ruin my Peugeot engine and have to go and buy another one, is attempt lifting it up. We could survey on the situations.
Yeah.
The oil is pretty gacky, but I mean the amount of crud in the rocker cover, because I don't think that's valve train noise somehow.
No.
Not unless one of the valves is being very slow to come back up and it's being hit by a piston every time, but I didn't notice that last night whilst turning it over. It's got the valve clearances. So there's a possibility that that does sound a tad big endy.
It does sound a little bit knocky, doesn't it?
Does a little bit, yes. Yeah, and it does get worse, but admittedly, I got all brave earlier on and decided that as I taxed it, we'd go for a quick whiz up the road to the same point that we went with the CF and back again.
Yep.
And the noise is quite mind-bending at 30 miles an hour. Very painful, and you're like, I don't think that's right.
Did it fill the cab up full of smoke?
No, because once you're moving the cab, you haven't noticed the cab ventilation, have you?
No.
No, I didn't notice the cab ventilation until yesterday. If you lean in here in the cab, your door does open, you know. Because my other Peugeot pickup truck had rear windows. This one has no rear windows.
Oh!
She's got big holes.
Nice.
So, not that that really matters. It's got flappy bits of canvas. Not that really matters for sound deadening. And I can't find reverse. I'm sure reverse wasn't hidden on one of these. I think the gear linkage might be a bit floppy.
Oh.
And the gearbox was lying underneath it last night, breathing the clutch. She does look a bit gacky. So we need to do some surveying on a man's new purchase.
Yeah.
When we should really be doing proper work, but that's fine. We've got a couple of hours. Yeah. So I think if we can find somewhere to lift it up without mushing lumps of chassis and breaking things, and then we can bring these nice people in here, have a look at the underside, drain on the oils, because we've got some heavy duty.
We've got 2050.
Got loads, and we forklift. Remember, we got all that forklift oil.
Yeah.
It'll like that.
It will.
And I've also got some engine flushing oil. So we could try a bit of
it through.
But yeah, because it is proper shitty in the top. But I think the best is to check. It does sound like it's towards the back corner, like it sounds like it's number 4 hanging out of it. As to whether a man could embry cloth on the crank and put some shells in it. Because it is old school. I mean, it develops about 18 horsepower.
Cool.
So maybe it probably developed 60 when it was new. Possibly 40.
See, I would put a Pinto engine in this out.
Well, you would do because you're a Ford hooligan. But I would also put a Mercedes 605 turbo diesel in the Capric.
We could do swaps, couldn't we?
Well, I could put this... No, I don't want your Pinto engine. I'm keeping my Peugeot engine. That this is perfectly... I think I can roar around in this. This is my new promotional vehicle.
Are you going to sign write it?
Well, I was going to see if I could get one of them sign painter things to do a bit of, you know, like the worn out stuff.
Yeah.
Because the van has got... The truck has got that worn out look to it. It says on the logbook it's brown.
Well, there's little bits of brown around the headlights.
I think it was.
About
I think
as much brown
it
as
came
this
in.
vehicle is.
It's last citied or last inspected in France in 1997.
By a coloured blind Frenchman.
No, leave my truck alone. To be honest, it probably was in much better condition in the south of France, nice and dry, before it got here. So the brand that I got it off, I've had it like 25 years.
Yeah.
He's been all over. I mean, they used to drive this from up north down to Goodwood and load children in it, and he was quite attached to it. He actually, I mean, we picked this up well up north yesterday, and he got on a train from London to meet Simon to wave it off.
Oh, bless.
So he was a bit worried I was going to scrap it, and Simon explained that it had probably gone to the right place because I'm terrible for fixing stuff that no one would ever consider fixing. So he's quite chuffed. So he's got some new sides. I'm in discussions, back body. This one's all right. It's the other. Well, actually, that's a lie. The other side's a bit poo.
Oh.
So,
but they're just bolt on anyway, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. They look like they are.
Yeah.
This is French, remember?
Oh.
They probably come off. And I mean, it's got. He thought it needed a new canvas, but I can't see it needs a new canvas.
Oh, I think the canvas looks pretty new to me.
Well, it might be about the best bit on it. But I mean, unbelievably, everything has come alive. So the brakes work, the lights work, the indicators work. I've DC. I mean, the actual clutch pedal and the brake pedal were seized on their pintles. They just didn't come back again. They're coming around now with a bit of woodering.
A wooder.
So I think we need to lift it up. It's going to be a bit scary. Prepare yourself.
We got toilet roll, right?
Well, you ain't going to need toilet roll. We're going to need it. We're going to need 400, 300 amps and some tin. But it's same again. It's not bad. No. I don't want to immaculately restore it and spend thousands. What I want to do is make it structurally sound enough so that I can roar between my house and here in it.
Sunday shopping as well.
Well, Madam, Madam might get in this, whereas Madam's not going to get into the Trabant. So, obviously, there must be a certain amount of daily drivers a man can have, and at current, I've got about 7. Daily driver Kangoo, daily driver 309, daily driver 305, daily driver 404, daily driver Trabant. And there's probably some more out there. And then that was obviously the actual daily driver that I drive. So we're going to have to slim the daily driver feet down to... Anyway, let's lift it up.
Yeah. I was actually starting to make a little bit of a rattling noise because I think I dropped it yesterday.
Oh. Something to do with you breaking torches. Never happens, does it, Fudge?
Never happens.
No.
Yeah, no, it's got a bit of a...
You can't break that one.
Yeah, listen.
I'm not going to... Did you think they do like Fisher Price torches and you could have one of those?
So not only is it a light, it's also a rattle.
You do worry me. Right. So, as we can see, it's had floors put in it at some point. This one looks
it's
quite...
All right,
that looks... Yeah, I don't think it looks quite as good just there.
Oh.
Right, that may be looking a bit sorry for itself. But it's only a... And then that bit's a bit rusty.
Yeah.
Because that's... Yeah. This side, not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, that side.
Pretty good.
That side's awful. The body's on there though. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the floor there, she's looking a bit dilapidated.
Ah.
But we get that can be worked on. The exhaust is shiny, so look at the shiny exhaust.
I did notice the shiny exhaust.
And you notice the torque tube. No prop shaft, torque tube.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, same as a 403. Oh. So something's happened here. Because that's a bit...
Oh.
Yeah, someone's jacked it up and squashed it, haven't they?
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to have to attend to the driver's floor.
That's actually relatively easy.
Yeah, we can bead roll this.
Yeah.
We'll just have to make one. But everything else, like this front gearbox cross member, a little bit bent in the middle, but that's fine. Man can be dealing with that.
Yeah.
Some electrical. Ah, that might explain why it doesn't charge. So, can we...
It's actually not too bad, Alan.
No, it could be much, much worse. Yeah, so what needs to come off is the sump. I think we can probably jack it up enough to get it out in there. I mean, that gearbox is just a horrible, oily mess. I'm a bit floppy. I can't find reverse. It's probably because the linkage is a bit...
Oh, yeah, it's a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it's free play, that's what they call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But everything is sort of here. So it could be much, much worse. So we think you should bring the good... Oh, there's a bit of a... I think I could see daylight up the front here.
That's to cool your feet down on a...
Oh, and it will be, because there's not much left there. But this side, I think this side's been done. That side hasn't. So one is assuming that the panels are possibly acquirable.
Well, even if they're not, like you say, that's
makeable.
An easy panel to fabricate anyway.
Because what we need is a load more welding, because Al's bought something stupid.
Well, you did buy a couple of reels of MIG wire last week, so you might as well use it.
Yeah, right, so we'll give you a bit of a tour. We'll just go around and fudge you. This may be the main problem area. That there is, that's a bit. And then this isn't very good. It's lovely over here. If we look at this side's great. That side, not quite as one would like it. And that bit there is a bit roosty. But this bit over here is much better. And we've got a bit of what could we call, I think we'll call that light surface rust, shall we, Fudge?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, I've bought another turd, haven't I? I like buying French rubbish turds. Anyone would have thought I'd learnt by now, and anyway, so we need to find why we haven't got reverse at some point. We're going to have to pull that back out so it makes structural member again, because it's a bit boosted, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to make a floor.
Yeah, we can kind of straighten that out once the floor's out. We can get
Yeah, we can beat on it from the inside, can't we?
Yeah.
Commence yagger and daggering on sump bolts. Oh yes, that's nice and easy. Simpler than a man was expecting for, Fudgy. Okay, all the way through. Move my toolbox a bit closer. Should we get all posh and put the bung back in so we can get rid of the oil drainer, because it's only going to drip continuously on us for hours otherwise, isn't it? I'm not actually in my 60 diesel's hoodie today. I reckon the missus must have shrunk on this one because my belly's popping out the bottom of it. It's got nothing to do with all those poison pasties a man eats.
No pasties and pies were involved in the making of this belly.
No, they weren't. Not even any beer anymore. Oh. And well, so I decided to give that up. Professionally remove that big heavy looking thing. Engine mounting, engine lifting bar.
Engine lifting toolage.
Yeah, luckily enough, when I went to Machine Mart, I bought the heaviest one. So I got it. Let's come my end. The heaviest one I could find. This is for lifting engines out of the QE2 if you get stuck. It's one of them nice lightweight ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt myself at all.
No, that's not
Bloody
three ton of lifting material. I reckon the starter motor might possibly hit the battery tray, but I think we can deal with that. So we're going to need to come make some description of lifting device. Because I don't think
we want to be closer at the front, don't we? So
no, I think a man could come off one of those injector bolts. They look strong.
I'll just hang it off the pipe.
Well, I had considered that, but I think it'll bend. And these are.
This? No.
No, that won't bend. No, that's good. I mean, so we could come down here and then we go around there. Shall we try that?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just loosen my doofer off. What about there? Will that give us enough for lifting ability? I suppose it does. Because that's got to come up a couple of inches, isn't it? Where do we go? Do we go? It's got great.
Put a bit of chainage around it.
That's what I was going to do. I'm going to put a bit of chain around it, do it up, and then pull on the bit of chain.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll lift it relatively square. Go and hit the button.
Okay. Is that hit the button or it the button?
Hit it, boy. Hit
it. And you roll bar.
Yeah. I'm going to go and get a soft hammer to beat the hell out of this sump with. Professional, I'll tell you.
Professionally bubble.
Professional. That's my mate Anthony says we are professionables.
We're professionables.
Professionables.
Refreshnable.
Yes.
Ooh. Right. Yeah, we definitely need to replace these bushes because half of it's come out with this one. And something else is just falling off. Yeah, one of those. I'll put that with that.
I have acquired my professional soft hammer for getting it off with.
The hammer of Thor.
Well, to be honest, I went to go and get a soft hammer and then I thought, well, I'm hitting a bar, so to be honest. Oh, right, play catch. Sump catching. She's going to come out, Fudgy.
She's going to come out.
She's going to come straight out the front, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, I have got it.
Right. There we go. Teamwork, Al.
Ugh. That's not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
It's just like soup.
No one's been in there recently because that gasket's ancient. Right.
That gasket came off in one lump, didn't it? Yeah.
Well, it came off good enough in one lump to stick it back on with some hematite. That's what you mean, isn't it?
It'll go back on lovely. Strain is nice and clean.
So, what did you do that for?
I only touched it. And it just
only touched it and stuff. No. And we're not lowering the tone.
Oh dear.
Right. Oh dear. Stuff has shot out of it again. Right.
Beautiful.
So, have we got an end hanging out of it?
The more you play with that, the more it leaks out.
Yeah, that's fine. Shut up, Fudgy. I don't think we have.
You feel all right?
Oh. What's making that ganky gate? Yeah, I was about to say we're going to need a spanner on the end of the crank.
That is 32? 32-ish.
Yeah, I've got some big spanners in my, both toolbox, bigger sets in the bottom of that little box over there. Why is it ganking if it's not that then? Reckon it will turn out to be that.
I always feel like one of them little tiny people when I've got a spanner like this sort of size in my hand.
Well, you are a bit like a borrower, aren't you?
Okay. Oh, it's bigger, 34.
Let's just bring 34, 36, 37, 38, 40.
39, 40.
Bring a lot. It's dripping snot on me. Look.
I'll just bring over this 8mm spanner.
Yeah, that day. The piston balls don't look too bad, not from down here anyway. Right, I'll wind it over and we'll see how we got any lift in any of the...
Oh, bugger's the next size up.
Oh, for Christ's sake, I told you to bring that. What's that?
That's a 34. Thought that was the biggest one you got in your box there, isn't it?
No.
Oh, hang on. What's this one? 33. Yeah, no, 34 is the biggest one you have in the box.
Hang on. I'll go and get a pair of Stilsons. Do you want this multi-fit spanner I've got here?
Ah, yeah.
Have that multi-fit spanner.
Thank you.
Fits all sizes, you know, with minor adaptations.
Right, let's have a little...
Yeah. Can you wind it the other? Can you wind it anti-clockwise to spin that round? Let's bring the number 1 and number, whichever way you want to go. I want number 1 and number 4 at the bottom dead centre.
Okay.
All right, hang on. Let's just check it isn't. Ain't no lifting those.
No?
I reckon that could be an injector, you know. I could just undo them for a laugh anyway to have a look how bad my engine is. I'm going to gently tap on this big end using this adjusting stick here. That's the one. Come on. So, what do we reckon the verdict is? These shells are lovely. They are like brand new. Fudger. Like literally, they've just, look at that, like they've come out of the box. And obviously I've made them dirty by rubbing them with this manky rag, but... So it ain't an end. Oh, that's an injector.
Yeah, new.
They've got to be new, haven't they? Perhaps she was a more quality engine than we thought for then. I mean, we got any... Oh, perhaps that might be a... Well, I think that... I mean, there's a shell about to fall out of there, obviously. There. But... Let's put this down so it's the right way. But the fact that piston... We got an end hanging, we got a little end hanging out of it then. I mean, she's like new.
That's brand new.
I don't think it is, it's got too much oil standing on it. I think they're just in really good nick. Right, have we got a piston hanging out of it then? Is it a piston coming up in it in a valve? No. I mean, there's... I think rings might be a bit stuck. There's not a lot of resistance on that rear cylinder. I reckon
That's piston slop then. If there's no resistance.
No, I don't think it's piston slop. I think it's lack of compression. I reckon the rings are stuck. So obviously number 4's firing. That's why it's ganking, because of course it needs some more bringing around.
Result?
Well, I think it's the result. Yeah, I mean, it is very
sloppy.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's broken.
No.
I think you find that we're lacking on the compressions. Hence why it's knocking, because it's not burning its fuel properly. So you know what a man needs to do now? drive it around. Gives us an opportunity to, we'll have to, I mean the sump gasket is sort of half on here. I think if we, not silicon, what's that, we Durco it to death, stick it on. We'll clean that sump strainer out, put some heavy duty diesel oil in it. Might put some flushing oil through. Yeah, it's only going to need flushing at the top though, because the top is the dirty bit. We can do that by hand. Just wash it out.
Yeah.
We can almost drop it down. Might be able to get the rocker cover off while it's like this. Wash it clean out the bottom. And I think she wants maybe some injector servicing, but they're mechanical, so we can take them apart and beat on them. Or the piston rings are stuck on number 4, and the reason it's clacketing is because it's either not burning its fuel or the fuel's not injecting, it's not vaporising. So the fuel's coming out in drips, which would make it knock. But you would have thought it would knock worse at low revs, not at high. But perhaps it knocks worse at high revs as it's got no compression and it's getting more fuel. And it's having a wee on the floor. But that's quite promising. So this engine might actually have been good.
Good engine.
But I think it's been sat for so long. So when Matey, because Matey bought it from a firm in Holland, it may have been sat for 20 years. Because I'm sure the demand for half worn out 2.1 or 1800, I'm sure this is 2.1 or a 2.3. Peugeot engines is fairly small. So yeah, I mean, everything in here looks, I mean, it's not even very dirty. No. I mean, the side of the block's red on the inside. I think it just...
And to be fair, that oil pump doesn't look extremely old either.
No, I don't think this thing's bad. So I think this sump back on a minute. And then work on the lights to make sure... Oh, no. I've knocked...
Oh, your George has fallen on the floor.
Oh, he's a bit bad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put him back in there for a minute and then we'll figure a way of... Yeah. Is that all of it?
The rest of the bits.
Oh, over there.
So we've got this one here.
Yeah. So we need some Peugeot 404 anti-roll bar rubbers most desperately, don't we?
Yeah, because I think your tyres are telling you that the bushes are out.
That tire's fine. Uh-oh. We've got a brand new spare in the boot.
This one's okay.
Yeah, no, I think you'll find that might have been an old spare then. But that's not too much of a worry. We can work on all that. But I think now we know the engine's not going to grenade itself all over the place.
It's safe to say that it just needs some driving.
I think we're going to try driving it. We've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We'll clean the top of the engine out in a minute.
Yeah.
The valve clearances aren't bad. I've already checked them. And then we'll see if we can make miles. It's only 12 miles, 15 maybe. It's taxed, you know, taxed. Well, that looks a load better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Cleaned off quite well, I think.
Yeah, the valve clearances all seem to be good. I have rejuvenated on the rocker cover with a steam cleaning, which has muchly improved it. I'm wearing most of it, admittedly, but I'm not worried about things like that. That can get rid of all the gack, and the rocker cover gasket is actually quite good. So I reckon if we dosh that back on there for a minute.
Yeah.
You did make a horrible mess in here, didn't you? You made my new battery look old now.
I did. I let her have it with the airline.
Yes,
you must actually clean. I've just made it dirty again. Clean off on the tops of your wings. Though,
yes, yeah. The trouble with that is every time you lean on it, yet more cack comes off.
Dirty rag. That will just make it even.
Yeah, just stir it around. Right. So I reckon, basically, we're going to need to go up in the air.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a clean out in the sump. Just get rid of any goo. Well, not in the sump, in the block, because I've cleaned the sump. Sump's there nice and clean.
Brand spanking.
Brand spanking. And then we need to tighten up the big ends. Don't forget to tighten. We don't tighten the big ends. Nip her up. And then basically we can sit it back on its mounts. I've found some front anti-roll bar mounts. We'll have to use those ones for a minute, but they are the same as a Peugeot 504, 505 apparently. And then let her have it.
Does that just sit on the top of that?
It
sits forward, doesn't it? That sits in there.
It was like the old big holes at the back. So basically, this is like that, I think. Yeah, you can see where it was. Because it was like that, yeah.
Ah.
What's it make you from vice grip? You can see it was like that by the way. You can see it's like that by the way it was.
Ah, yes, yeah. Because we've got the dents in the thingy.
There's a 10mm nut.
Thank you.
You had to do that. You had to move it just as I got my bolt on, my nut on, didn't you?
Oh.
What I'm going to do, don't move it now because it's going to fire that nut off across the room. And then we'll have to go and find yet another 10mm nut. You'll never find anything fast enough when you know it's going to escape.
Yep.
Right, we're good now, we're good.
Excellent. Breather pipe was down there, that's for the
that's for that. We'll chuck that up there. We're going to need to screw the fuel filter back on because it's a bit of an oily mess under here now, isn't it?
How did that happen?
I don't know whether that might have been fudged with an airline, but I mean it was for a good reason, wasn't it?
It was for a really good reason.
Yes. We decided to smew everywhere.
Smarmy smew.
Smew. Right, that's the fuel filter back on. Well, we seem to have more screws than we had before, but that's fine. Oh no, that's because I forgot about that. Yeah, no, we haven't got more screws than we had before.
Oh.
I just can't go 30mm nut to go on. Just go on, that's it. Go on there, quickly. Don't cross thread, just go on there. It's not complicated, is it? That's the one, right.
Chuck that back.
Chuck back on there.
That's very nice. That'll go back on there.
Well, half the YouTube world just heard me slurp me tea there.
Slurpy.
Slurpy. I was trying not to snort and slurp too much. That's tight, I reckon. Yeah, I don't think those screws were doing much in the way of screwing, to be honest, but... Do you know, I think there's a possibility we might, yeah, that's the one to go.
To there,
yes. That'll do fine.
Beautifully done there, Al.
Right, there's one epoxy bolt that needs to go on there and is easier to get on beforehand. Nut. Yeah, 10mm, any 10mm nut because he didn't have one on it till I threw it on yesterday.
Okay. Right. There.
What's that? Have you got one of those self-tapping screws in your hand?
No.
Oh, we've lost one of them. Well, one will do, won't it?
No.
Where that's escaped to.
It's probably attached to a torch.
Ah, that's the normal one, isn't it? Yes. Right. I made that wing you made all clean dirty again, eh?
Yeah, and my hands.
To be honest, I'm not helping, believe me.
And the torch.
And everything is just covered in ick. Do you want to grab that red filter, the red, that can stay off for a minute?
Yeah.
Well, you don't really need it at the moment. The red funnel that's under the bench down there, I will find some diesel forklift oil. What have we got? 15W40 from the British Petroleums. I think that'll do, won't it? Do you want 1540 or 1040? 1540, 1540, 50. But to be honest, we've got lots of 1540, so
1540.
I think 1540 it is.
Just like one of them.
Because what we'll probably do is run this for a bit and then dump it out and change the filter.
Yeah.
I've got my professionalism of rubbing all the dirt off the can before it ends up going in my nicely cleaned engine. which rattles like Thor's hammer. This will be nice and thick, won't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What you want.
It's British Petroleum's as well. Oh, yes, look at that. Definitely not to reverse it. I know. So, we have been cut slightly short on our test driving ideas by the fact that it would appear that the gear linkage where it bolts the steering wheel is broken. So I'm going to fix on that. You're going to need to go home to your beloved.
Yep.
We're going to need to wish these people a good Wednesday evening. And we're going to have to come back to some test driving, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Once I've made the gear linkage work. But I think we have improved the 2.2 or 2.1 diesel, 1800 diesel, whatever it is. So can you get your 1977 Peugeot 404 to run and start off the key? Yes. Is my engine knackered? Probably not.
No, it looked pretty good.
The crank looks really good, but I think we are slightly lacking in the compression, so we need to fix the gear lever so we can run it around, because I have taxed it. It was free. And then it is MOT exempt. The brakes work, all the lights work. Got to fix the wipers, they work, but you can't turn them off, so I've had to disconnect them for a minute. And I think with a bit of floor per making and fix that bit of inner body down the back there, I think this is quite a good truck.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much, Al Fudge, 6D Diesels.